Welcome back. In this video we will go through the second part of the Dragonflight campaign chapter called the Spark of Ingenuity. So like I said on the previous video, this chapter would take over an hour, so I decided to break it into two parts. Before we get into the action once again, let's have a quick summary on what we did in the first video. So at the start, we received a breadcrumb quest that sent us to Graysick Cobblefinger. He gave us the task to power up a Titan device, which is something he and his fellow goblins failed to do. To do this, we entered a gyrocopter that had an ability to electrify a target. I'm not really sure what else to call it, other than electrifying. After ejecting out of the gyrocopter, which had caught fire, we were able to interact with the Titan device. Doing so revealed a Maiden of Inspiration, who told us that Tyr predicted that we, or crafters, would need this device one day. To prove our worthiness, we would have to complete a series of challenges. So, naturally we went through these challenges or tasks and received an item after completing every single one of them. This item, called the Bottle of Essence, could be turned into a Spark of Ingenuity, which is a crafting reagent that boosts the item level of crafted gear. We ended the video with at the fourth challenge, which would bring the Titan device, the Engine of Ingenuity, to full power. In order to do this, the Maiden would send us into the Halls of Infusion, where we would have to get a power core from Watcher Iridius. Since we already went through that dungeon in the Dragonflight campaign chapter called The Silver Purpose, I'm only going to include some critical moments of this dungeon in the dungeon run. So yeah, let's before doing so, let's go through the quest dialogue one more time, since I already went through it the first video, but I'm not sure if you remember. So the Maiden of Inspiration gives us the fourth challenge of Tyr, Resourcefulness. The engine is close to reaching its full potential. All it requires now is a power core to process any essence put into it more efficiently. Tyr left the knowledge of such devices with Watcher Iridius. Go into the Halls of Infusion, and find him. I am sure he will help you with whatever you need. Alright, so let's check out how that went. And there he is, Iridius.
More trespassers!
Too far away.
I will not allow you through! I will not let you through! My sacrifice will keep these halls safe!
And that's Iridius down, and we have his power core. Taken from the Halls of Infusion, this device once powered up Watcher Iridius. Okay, next up we have to defeat the Primal Tsunami. And there we have our kill. Of the Primal Tsunami. So that's that for this dungeon. Okay, so after retrieving Iridius' power core and defeating the Primal Tsunami, we return to the Maiden of Inspiration over at the Engine of Innovation at Valdraken. So let me just show you the map. This is where we are right now. So we speak to the maiden.
I shall test your mettle.
You found what your Iridius?
Stand strong.
Perhaps it was these enemies of order that Keeper Tyr wished to defend against. At least the loss of Watch Iridius can still be a victory for us. By his power core we may power the engine, and part of him shall always live on as a creation of Tyr. You can swear you see sadness cross over the maiden's face. You once again receive a bottled essence.
More challenges await.
And we complete the next part of the achievement
Perseverance
called
rewards.
Tyr's Footsteps. So fourth challenge, resourcefulness. Let's just transform this one. There we go.
Let us see if you are worthy.
Fifth challenge of Tyr, Ingenuity. As this was not how the power core was supposed to be obtained, it requires a reattunement to the energies of the engine. The resonance frequencies of the denizens of Tyrhold should bring the core to its full potential once more. Though I do not wish to sacrifice more of my brethren, I believe this is the only way this challenge may be completed. Attune Iridius' power core with titanic energy from Tyrhold. And we will receive a bottled essence. So that would be our fifth, I think.
May you be. Do you wish to prove yourself worthy of Tyr's invention? Then join me once more for a new challenge. This trial is unorthodox, but required if you are to have the full power of the engine available. Head to Tyrhold and reattune the energies of the core.
Alright, so let's just check. Yep, we got the right chapter focused on. That was bad English, but well. So I'm just going to depart from this point. And I'm going to fly upwards to Tyrhold, which we already visited before. Just going to aim for that draft of wind. There we go. And here we are. I'm just going to stealth for a second. So we got Iridius' power core. Attune the power core to an elite titanic denizen of Tyrhold, weakening it. Taken from the halls of infusion, this device once powered up Watcher Iridius. Now it must be attuned again to regain its original power output. So, as you can see, we have to kill elite enemies. And when we do so, this progress bar will fill up. Iridius' power core, attunement level. And apparently there's quite a lot of people around. Alright, so let's go and see if we can find some other elite denizens. Here we are. Normally there's troops around this one, but this time there isn't. So we use the power core. And he gets a debuff called Wavelength Dissonance.
I don't have a target.
That was quite a lot of damage. Let's see about defeating these.
I require a target.
There we go. Alright, so let's ignore that one. Dum, dum, dum. So, as you can see, we got 35% progress after killing that one. So now I still have to read what that thing said. A debuff, whoops, wrong one. Oh well. So yeah, that is not part of Tyrhold. I think there should be a statue-like maiden walking around here, but it seems to be very crowded up at Tyrhold today. Alright. Let's go back to where we were earlier, and things have respawned already. So for our next target, that one is way too close to the others. But that one isn't. So let me try and read out loud what the effect says. There we go. Wavelength dissonance. Cannot be attuned to. Maximum health reduced. Damage done decreased by 200%. Let's interrupt that. As you can see, there is a 3-minute timer on it. So that should be enough to defeat him quite easily. So so we get 70% progress now, so one more kill, and then we're done. Okay, so that was the one I was talking about earlier, Maiden or Tierhold Watcher. Anything else to kill? No. Just don't want to risk fighting her in the presence of others, because that will probably kill me. Let's give her a, well, I would say a second, but it's going to take a lot more than a second at that pace. Okay.
Maximum attunement reached. You have restored the power core to its original state. Return to Valdrakken, adventurer.
I need to target something
It is
first.
time to insert this new core into the engine of innovation.
So basically you don't even have to kill them to get progress on the attunement level. You just have to absorb their strength. So that's not the right one, this one is. When you get back to, that was a bit confusing, I suppose, sorry about that. So again, when you get back to the Maiden of Inspiration, she says,
Have you come for a challenge?
you have completed the last challenge. Though it comes at a loss, I believe it is for the greater good. Keeper Tyr meant for you to succeed.
Perseverance rewards.
And that gives us more achievement progress.
More challenges await.
5th challenge, Ingenuity. Let's transform that into a Spark of Ingenuity.
Greetings, mortal.
So finally we get the quest called Innovating the Engine.
May you be worthy.
Tyr believed that the engine of innovation would be necessary for the battles to come. You have proven yourself worthy and overcome all the challenges set before you. You may now unlock the engine's full potential. Insert the newly attuned power core into the engine of innovation. Come think of it, I did not. I think we accept this one first. So the following will be cast on you. Essence Detector. You have a chance to obtain a bottled essence by defeating powerful enemies, as well as by completing dungeons, raids and other various activities on the Dragon Isles.
Approach the engine of innovation when you are ready to begin.
Was expecting to receive an item, but that's not going to happen apparently. Insert the power core. Sorry about that. Carefully insert newly attuned power core.
Well done. The modified core has been accepted.
Better after all that effort.
Let us see if you are worthy.
With the new core installed, the engine pulses with warm energy. Let's face her. While speaking to her.
Perseverance rewards. You have proven yourself worthy. And with that, my purpose is at an end. Though if you should ever need my assistance, you may call upon me directly.
That sounds kinda sad. Her purpose is at an end. She's been, well, I think dormant for like 10,000s of years. And then she becomes active only to, well, have a purpose for a short time. So yeah, we get achievement progress in innovation complete. And that completes the the achievement called In Tyr's Footsteps. So basically you could think that this ends this chapter, which was the 9th and last chapter of the Dragonflight campaign. But like I said on the previous video, I am going to include this quest as well, because it only turns up during this chapter. But first let's check out one more thing with the Maiden of Inspiration.
Have you come for a challenge?
So I didn't go through this dialogue, because basically you only get it at well, I think at the end of this chapter or after completing the first challenge. I think you get it after completing the entire chapter. So, how can I get more Sparks of Ingenuity? Other opportunities to obtain a bottled essence will arise from time to time. They may be found by defeating powerful and unique enemies roaming the Dragon Isles, as well as completing dungeons, raids, and scenarios. You may even find one in a treasure, weekly reward chest, or from fighting others on battlegrounds or in arenas. Whatever you choose, I have no doubt you will be successful in your efforts.
May you be worthy.
So, finally, or at the end of this chapter, we speak to Grazik Cobblefinger.
Well, spit it out.
Crafting orders. That's a nifty thing you got there from the Titan device. Now hand it over. Just kidding. I wouldn't know the first thing about how to use that. Do you? Go talk to Mimsy Sprazzlerock. She's got the whole gig set up, finding folks to do something called crafting orders. You put out the goods, someone takes them and crafts something for you. Simple, right? Go talk to Mimsy to check it out. And don't tell her I sent you. Speak with the head clerk Mimsy Sprazzlerock to learn about crafting orders.
See you around, friend.
So, why can't we tell her that you sent us? Anyway, let's follow the waypoint, which sends us to a different part of Voldraken. Here we are. So, yeah, there she is. We are sent to the Artisan's Market right here. So we speak to her.
What's up?
And this is what you get. The crafting order interface.
Be good.
You can return to any crafting order representative to put in more orders for new equipment as long as you have the components. And that basically concludes this introduction to crafting orders. So that's not really a lot of explanation that you receive. Anyway, now that we have completed the 9th and final chapter of the Dragonflight campaign, let's summarize what we did on the entire chapter. So as a little heads up, this is going to be quite a long summary. So yeah, like I said, we started the chapter with a breadcrumb quest that sent us to Grazik. The goblins had discovered a device that was created by Keeper Tyr, but they had been unable to get it to work. He asked for our help. We would have to enter a gyrocopter and try to activate the device. We used some sort of electrifying ability, but this caused the gyrocopter to explode. Before that happened, we managed to fully power the engine, or the machine, sorry. It was still a machine or device. When we interacted with it, a Maiden of Inspiration appeared before us. Apparently, her purpose was to provide a series of challenges to test if we were worthy of using this engine of innovation. It turns out that Tyr had predicted that someone would one day need this device. For our first challenge, we were sent to the Azure Span. Over by the waypoint there was a statue of the Maiden of Inspiration, and interacting with it spawned an echo of her. She gave us the challenge of finesse and launched us into the air. While descending, we had to hover through 10 rings. Completing the challenge gained us a bottled essence. After which, well, now I'm going to end my sentence here. So the echo then sent us back to the engine and provided a portal to teleport us there immediately. Using the item on the engine granted us our first Spark of Ingenuity, a crafting reagent that allows a crafter to boost the item level of gear they create. Our next challenge took us to the Onarran Plains. After interacting with another statue and spawning the Maiden's Echo, we received the Challenge of Might. To complete it, we had to defeat projections of Centaur, Primalists, Jarden, and a Protodrake. We then received another bottled essence, which we once again turned into a Spark of Ingenuity. Next, we had to go to the Waking Shore. This time, however, the statue of the maiden had been destroyed. Therefore, we could not receive our first challenge, which is the Challenge of Persistence. Her echo did spawn, so to find out what happened to her statue, she accessed some security footage. We saw that the Jarden had smashed the statue and took several parts with them. We would have to go to the Jarden encampment nearby, to the north of her location, to retrieve these pieces. After doing so, the maiden told us that the odds that we would successfully be able to repair her statue were, and I quote, unfavorable. Despite that, we had persisted, so she interpreted this as an act of persistence, which fulfills the requirements for the Challenge of Persistence. After transforming our bottled essence into another Spark of Ingenuity, the maiden informed us that the engine had nearly reached its full potential. All we would need now is a power core. She sent us into the halls of infusion to get one from Watcher Iridius. As we saw on the chapter called The Silver Purpose, Watcher Iridius had been attacked by Primalists, if I'm not mistaken. He thought that we were with them and attacked us on sight, so we had to take him out. This gave us a power core that we would need, which completed the challenge of resourcefulness. The maiden was sad to hear the news, but understood that it was something that had to be done. However, the power core would have to be reattuned because of the way we obtained it. To do this, we would have to expose it to the resonance frequencies of Tyr's creations over at Tyrhold. The maiden did not want to sacrifice more of her kind, but there was no other way. After completing this challenge of ingenuity, we were able to finally insert the power core into the engine and bring it up to full power. This granted us the ability to find bottled essence during our travels, like in dungeons and raids. So, like I said earlier, I promised you on the first video of this chapter to go through the little quest that appeared with Grazik. Now, this quest only becomes available during the chapter, and Wowhead seems to consider this part of the chapter as well, so that's why I included it in this video. This quest introduced us to crafting orders, which is a way to get crafted gear from other players, because you can't actually trade this gear. Alright, now that we have completed this chapter and this campaign, I'm going to look into what's next, but if I'm not mistaken, the next part or next campaign is called Embers of Neltharion. Now, I'm going to get back to you on that, but yeah, Embers of Neltharion should be the next campaign. So yeah, until then, I would like to thank you for watching, and I hope you will check out this next video as well, or this next videos on the next campaign. See ya!